यार एक काम कर दो, ऑफ कर दो। Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for such this delay, and I was little not well because you guys can see my voice is not a little proper. Yeah, I'm feeling a cough and cold, but that's fine. The thing is today for late, sorry for today late, है ना? चलो. So we have almost completed that sphenodon, right? So we have completed the status of sphenodon. Okay. So we have mentioned the primitive characters, and the other thing is your crocodile. Crocodile may of course suppose that if you first of all whenever we are seeing the PYQs, the question from the crocodile has not been asked even a single period of time. Okay, but that does not mean that I'm saying that I'm going to leave this topic. Finally, we get it that what are the characteristics of reptilians, right? So now we know that the characteristics of reptilians, the higher one, the lower one, and if we do not about that anything about the crocodile, but we know that crocodile is the most developed reptiles. Okay, so accordingly we will mention it. So today in the class we are going to start about that Aves. Your next, that is your Aves. Acha, Aves, or that is also called the birds. Okay, birds may like every single time as we discuss. Where are the other guys? Where's the yeah? So what we discuss in the birds, the major topic which came frequently from this topic, the major question that is your flight adaptation. नहीं आया, भेजना है भाई मुझे मुझे वो सिंग वाली जो आईडी है ना. हाँ, ये वाला हटाओ, ये दोनों सेंड कर दो, सिंग वाले सेंड सेंड सेंड. यस यस, ये फर्स्ट वन. ठीक है, सो द क्वेश्चन so cute. चलो, so the question which came from this topic is your flight adaptation. Flight adaptation, है ना? So that question is came from your topic, but we know that one of the very important connecting thing between the reptiles and the apes, that is your archaeopteryx. Archaeopteryx, ठीक है? So we know that archaeopteryx is your connecting link between the reptiles and birds, and not very frequently, but yes, question came from this topic too. So what we'll do, as we generally do, so we will start the characteristics as we have started in the reptiles. Basically, first we are going to write about the characteristics, then we are going to talk about the flight adaptation, then we are linking a little bit with the archaeopteryx, and then that's the only one point which is coming from your this aves or the birds topic. Then we'll shift to the mammalia. ठीक है, चलो. So make it heading. Any doubt, anyone? Like कुछ छूटा है ऐसे कुछ extra cover करना है? The thing is only we are leaving the crocodiles. I'll provide the PDF of that because I don't think this is a very relevant, using like 1.5 hour for such a crocodile only. Because the question not even once has been asked from the crocodile. Sorry. Fine. Yes. No. Anything. Okay. Thank you. So make the heading Aves. Make the heading Aves. Make the heading Aves. चलो ready on देखो why we need to write the characteristics, because from your mammal the multiple question has been asked, and in that one of the characteristics is your flying mammals too, so you will not repeat that particular points in there. Okay, Aves, general characteristics, general characteristics. I know festival season है, you guys are not very willingly characteristics, तो अभी इस टाइम पे पढ़ने में थोड़ा सा कम लगता है, but that's quite okay, that's why I'm not taking very difficult topic even. Okay, चल first point write down. Aves are feathered animals. Aves or birds are feathered animals or organisms, or organisms with air breathing, with air breathing. Full stop. Next. They are they are truly flying animals. They are truly flying animals. Why we are saying that truly flying? Because of course they will, like, because of the flying mechanism, they are adapted completely into that kind of requirement, right? So we see that some of the reptiles, gecko are one of the reptiles which actually fly. We know that some of the mammals can also fly, right? Characteris, that is your bat. We know that flying fishes also, right? But again we are saying that so in that all things they are not properly flying animals, but birds are your truly flying animals. They will have some kind of adaptation which will help in that, but यहाँ पे there's a proper adaptation. चलो next point. Jaw bones are prolonged. Jaw bones are prolonged. Jaw bones are prolonged. ये सबको पता है, body is compact and pointed like this, and सब ये these points are know everyone. चलो write it down. Jaw bones are prolonged and modified into toothless beak. Next points. As they are placed under tetrapoda, as they are placed under tetrapoda, but their forelimbs are modified as wings. Their forelimbs are modified as wings for flying adaptation. Hind limbs are large. And adapted for various purposes, such as walking, running, comma, capturing and holding the objects, as bracket में लिखो as they have pentadactyl arrangement. Pentadactyl मतलब pentadactyl claws arrangement. Next. Proper development of exoskeleton. Exoskeleton does not mean that it does require that these kind of organism always require the hard or the bony structure as exoskeleton. No, just if we talk about human, right, we talk about us, we do also have that proper exoskeleton developed structure. Why? Because the external, suppose that we talk about the dermal, right? So dermal skin or the whatever the exo area which have the modification according to the requirement, such as if we talk about the skin is for the protection. Then we do have the modification in the forms of this nails, then we do have the modification also. So that means developed hai, whatever it is developed for their specific function. That is development. Exoskeleton is epidermal and horny. Exoskeleton is epidermal and horny, represented by that's in here also. Acha, one more thing, guys, do not get confused. So whenever we are talking about the four-limb modification, four-limb modification, that is your in the form of wing. But when we talk about the feather, that means, okay, suppose that sometimes in the winter we do wear certain kind of dresses. So what we say, it's have the feathery structure, है ना? Such kind of jackets or something. That means such kind of jacket, something that have this kind of a structure, right? That is the feathery structure. Okay, so that is an exoskeleton represented by feathers, forming a non-conducting. अब feathers का काम क्या है? To cover the body and protect it from the very harsh environment temperature, right? Protecting, forming a non-conducting body covering, forming a non-conducting body covering for warmth. That is one of that. Whenever you're talking about, suppose that IFS में there's your question that why mammals में भी आपके your aves and your mammals, sorry, tetrapod में maybe aves or mammals, they are your warm-blooded. That means they have that broad range of temperature tolerance. One of the reason is also because of that internal, of course, you differentiate like that, the external mechanism and the internal mechanism. So one of the external mechanism is the exoskeleton modification. जैसे कि इसमें feather है. If you talk about the mammals do have that also the feathery. जैसे कि if you see the polar bears have उसके उनके वो पास होते हैं ना, they do have that very dense वो. If you talk about the camels do have also the leathery skin, very tough skin, so that the water cannot ever expire, so the water cannot move out of through the skin, right? So such kind of modification is one of the reason for the best or one of the best survival for that mammals and aves. Okay, chalo. Feathers forming a non-conducting body covering for warmth, comma, scales, comma, and claws, scales and claws, and also sheath. Beak also have the sheath, because that is just like they do not have teeth, right? So what is the significance of teeth? We do have that teeth, of course, the biting and the chewing, but they're the hard structure. So suppose that if we are taking anything which is very hard, so either we will touch it like through that our hand, or after that our teeth will going to decide that this is something very hard or that not that much hard. Okay, so they also have the sheath covering on their beak, and sheath covering on the beak, Next, skin is dry and devoid of glands. They do not have. That is one of the modification that shows. यहाँ पे भी आपके क्या है? Birds है. Birds do not have that skin glands, but the mammals do have that skin glands, right? They do pituitary glands, right? Mammary gland is also a surface skin gland. तो यहाँ पे these are both are derived from that reptiles. That shows more close affinity. इसीलिए birds को पहले रखा गया है, not कि mammals को, है ना? Reptiles also do not have any skin glands. They also do not have any skin glands, but they do have. Okay? Skin is dry, and why we are discussing it? Because in a mammal, there's a topic of origin of mammals, and we have already talked about that origin of vertebrate. So when we're talking about that origin of vertebrate, so before the vertebrate, whatever the classes or the groups or whatever, we connect it through like that. Okay? So now if you're talking about in the topic of your origin of mammals, so mammals के पहले जितने भी आपके animals groups और classes आते हैं, you will connect the point by yourself. At least अभी के लिए मुझे लगेगा then I'll dictate it also. चलो, skin is dry and devoid of glands, except the except the oil or preen gland, except the oil or preen gland at the roof of tail, at the roof of tail. जो टेल होती है ना, बिकॉज टेल का अपना अलग फंक्शन है, तो उसके वहां पे टेल के उस पे एक प्रीन ग्लैंड या ऑल ग्लैंड का सिक्रेशन होता है. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. दिस इज योर पेक्टोरल मसल, दैट इज योर फोर लिम्ब, एंड बिलो वाली आपकी पेल्विक मसल. सो राइट डाउन पेक्टोरल मसल्स. पेक्टोरल मसल are well developed for the flight adaptation. The other glands, the other also इसको लिखो, pectoral muscles are well developed for flight muscles, for flight adaptation. They are also called, they are also called the flight muscles because flight में आपकी क्या help कर रहे हैं? The feather, sorry, the wings, and wings are attached through the this pectoral girdle. That is why they are called flight muscles. The other two flight muscles are, या other two muscles, हाँ चलिए लिख लो, the other two flight muscles are, the other two flight muscles are first tensor muscles, first tensor muscles, tensor, the first is tensor muscles, second is accessory muscles, second is accessory muscles. Next, endoskeleton, endoskeleton, fully ossified, that means bony ossification. Endoskeleton, fully ossified, ossified, ओसीन प्रोटीन जिसमें पाई जाती है, जैसे कि when we talk about that, when we talk about the chondrichthyes and osteichthyes, right? So basic difference was chondrichthyes में that are made up of the cartilage, cartilage. So that means why, on the basis of what we are differentiating cartilage or osteichthyes, osteoepithelial bony, that means they have that chondrin protein, right? And here they have that endoskeleton is made up of osine protein. That is the basic difference. On the basis of that we differentiate the chondrichthyes and osteoecthyes. So ये तो आपके proper name है. The basic thing difference will be the only the nature of proteins. Okay, चलो. Endoskeleton fully ossified, comma, light but strong, light but strong, means bones are pneumatic in nature, bones are pneumatic in nature. Long bones have no marrow, bone marrow of course. Long bones have no bone marrow. Next, skull is smooth and monocondylic. Skull is, इसके पहले हमने क्या पढ़ा था? Dicondyle. Remember when we talking about the reptiles and everything? Yeah, that is the difference. We are getting it again. Okay, skull is smooth and monocondylic. एक कंडाइली है, monocondylic. अच्छा, स्मूथ मतलब एक पार्ट है, बहुत ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेशन जरूरत नहीं है. bearing, comma, bearing a single occipital condyle, single फ्यूचर्स जो होते हैं वो इंडिस्टिंक्ट होते हैं. स्मूथ का मतलब ये है, जैसे जो फोल्डिंग्स होती है ना, इतनी डीप फोल्डिंग नहीं होती है, बिकॉज वी नो इन ह्यूमन दीज आर द वेरी डीप फोल्डिंग, बिकॉज दे हैव मोर एक्सेसिबल, लाइक मोर प्रोसेसिंग इन आवर ब्रेन. ठीक है, वेल डेवलप्ड ब्रेन का दिस इज एक काइंड ऑफ प्रेजेंटेशन. द ह्यूमन और द मैमल हैव ऑफ कोर्स कंपैरेटिवली वेरी 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 वेल डेवलप्ड. हमारे में स्पीच रिकॉग्निशन है, ऑफ कोर्स वी डू टॉक, वी डू यूज आवर ब्रेन एंड मल्टीपल, तो उतने ही इनकी फ्यूचर्स पाए जाते हैं. इनमें इतने फ्यूचर्स नहीं होते, स्मूथ होती है इसीलिए, इंडिस्टिंक्ट होते हैं फ्यूचर्स. ठीक है. Skull is a smooth and monocondylic, bearing a single occipital condyle with indistinct features, with indistinct features. Next, lower jaw or mandible. Lower jaw, yeah, the mandible one is one of that great significance in the overall evolution of the mammal, even the human ones. Lower jaw or mandible consist of 5 or 6 bones. Consists of 5 or 6 bones. Next, vertebra. अगर कुछ छूटे तो प्लीज लेट मी नो. हाँ, vertebra are heterocoelous. Vertebra are heterocoelous मतलब both level of arrangement, दोनों साइड में, like this. Vertebra are heterocoelous. सीलम मतलब कैविटी है ना, सीलोम से वर्ड डेवलप हुआ है सीलस. सीलस डैश या फिर एंड शैडल शेप्ड, एंड saddle shaped, small, full stop, full stop. Some thoracic vertebra are fused together. Some thoracic region मतलब upper half, lung वाला portion, right? Some thoracic bones are fused together. Next, tail vertebra compressed laterally. Tail vertebra are compressed laterally and last 3 to 4 fused into a single bone, called pygostyle. Next, sternum, the upper one, यहाँ से आपके वो अटैच होते हैं, रिब्स वाला पोर्शन. Sternum is large. यहाँ पे आपका एक स्ट्रक्चर पाया जाता है कील. That is one of that significance of that bird adaptation. When we are going to talk about the flight adaptation, we mention it again. ठीक है. Sternum is large, usually with the vertical mid-ventral keel. Keel KEEL for attachment of large flight muscles. We know that muscles and bones are attached with each other also, right? So because suppose that if you are, do not consider the small birds such as sparrow, do consider the big birds. जैसे कि आप अगर consider करो hawk, think like of hawk, है ना, and eagle. So they do have that big wings, right? So that particular big wings, even with the help of that big wings, they can just go into that, with the flying, they can go into that water body and they can capture their prey, and with that heavy prey, they can flow again into that height. So that means how? एक तो आपके हिंडलिम का मॉडिफिकेशन होगा, दैट इज द क्लॉज, उनका एक बहुत अच्छी ग्रिप होगी, एंड दैट इज ऑफ कोर्स अडेप्टेशन फॉर द प्रे कैप्चरिंग. बट इफ यू टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट विंग्स, विंग्स का इतना स्ट्रांग होना इज डिपेंडिंग ऑन द, बिकॉज जो आपकी फ्लाइट मसल्स हैं which are they are attached that sternum के through, वो कील एक बोनी स्ट्रक्चर होता है, उसमें अटैच होती है, so it is providing that good attachment, right? That is thing. Keel for attachment of large flight muscles. Next ribs, double headed, ये वाली रिब्स, ये जो आपकी स्टर्नम और वर्टिब्रा कॉलम से अटैच होती है, रिब्स आर डबल हेडेड डैश बाइसिफेलस, हेड मतलब सिफेलिक रीजन, मतलब दोनों तरीके का प्रॉपर अटैचमेंट होता है, ठीक है, बाइसिफेलस and bear posteriorly direct uncinate process, bear posteriorly direct uncinate process. Next point, clavicle is also you called collarbone, right? So the collarbone का इसमें भी birds में भी uses होगा useful, yes that would be the useful too. तो ये वाली आपकी जो clavicle bone होगी, let us write it on. Sorry, I'm so sorry guys. Next write down. Both clavicles and single interclavicle fused to form a V-shaped bone. This is also one of the, after the keel, this is your specific modification, that is called furcula or wishbone. Furcula or wishbone. Guys, अगर कुछ छूट रहा हो तो please let me know. I'll repeat it. Okay. Furcula or wishbone. Next. Pelvic girdle. Pectoral तो हो ही गया था. That is called the flight muscles. Pelvic girdle are large, strong, and fused with thin sacrum. ये पढ़ेंगे अपन. Sacrum is bone. Sacrum is one of the other bone. Fused with thin sacrum. Thin sacrum. Acetabulum is perforated. Acetabulum. Achha, what is the significance? Acetabulum is perforated. What is the significance of a strong pelvic girdle? चलो उसका समझ आ गया. Pectoral girdle का that is needed to be strong. What is the significance of to being a strong pelvic girdle? Anyone? Manisha, Rajkumar, Aishali, tell me what the significance of that strong pelvic girdle. Feathers चाहिए थे, strong pectoral girdle थी, got it.
Is it because of the posture, the upright posture to have?
Yes, very good. Yes, very good. This is one of the reason. What else? Manisha or Rajkumar, tell me other reason. There are at least 3 reasons. To absorb landing force. Yes, Rajkumar, very nice. Manisha, what happened? bear the body weight, है ना? What else, Manisha? There's two more point. सोच नहीं पा रही बच्चा? अच्छा, कोई बात नहीं, फाइन. देखो, अभी तो आई हैव जस्ट गिवन द एग्जांपल ऑफ द हॉक और द ईगल, है ना? और क्या होता है उसमें, इतना हैवी पकड़ना होगा. सो फर्स्ट इज दिस कि दे डू हैव दैट स्ट्रॉन्ग क्लॉज. बट अगर सपोज दैट आपके सारा फोर्स आपके फिंगर्स में रख दिया जाए, so you cannot hold that particular thing for a really moment of time if your this portion or this portion is weak, right? So that is the significance to holding or capturing the prey. And one of the very very significant important point, of course all of you guys have said very correctly point, कि some of that flightless birds, है ना, that जैसे कि आपका ऑस्ट्रिच, रिमेम्बर, तो आपका भी ऑस्ट्रिच की बोन्स को देखो, ये वाली पेक्टोरल वाली इज वेरी वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग बिकॉज हेल्प इन दैट वॉकिंग, क्विक वॉकिंग और मूवमेंट, है ना? अगर कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम आ जाएगी फोर लिम्स में, तो एटलीस्ट दे कैन नॉट, इफ दे कैन नॉट फ्लाई, बहुत सारे बर्ड्स ऐसे होते हैं जो दे हैव द प्रॉब्लम विद द फ्लाइंग बट दे आर वेरी गुड वॉकर और द रनर, है ना? देखो ऑस्ट्रिच जो है दैट इज अ काइंड ऑफ नेचर इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑफ एनर्जी. ऑस्ट्रिच का मॉडिफिकेशन तो हो गया, so of course they are the flightless bird, so they are the bird, so they have that kind of important wings which is covering the body, but उनका जो energy investment था which should be useful in the strongness of the pectoral muscles, so that is actually transferred to the pelvic girdle में, है ना? So they are very 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 fast runner. This is one of your point. अच्छा बच्चा, flightless bird पे क्वेश्चन है, ठीक है? 10 मार्कर में there's a question simply mention the flightless birds, उसमें लिखा होता है शॉर्ट नोट लिखने को. So when you're writing the short notes, you have to talk about everything about the flightless bird. That's why we have discussed. Next, oesophagus. अच्छा, इसमें गिजर्ड पाया जाता है ना. Oesophagus is frequently dilated. Oesophagus is frequently dilated. Is frequently dilated into a crop. Into a crop for quick feeding and storage. For quick feeding and storage. Full stop. Stomach divided into glandular, proventriculus and muscular gizzard. Stomach divided into proventriculus, muscular and gizzard. We will, when we going to write about that development of the digestive system, you have to, even if you do not remembering, like suppose that अपने exam के पहले वो development वाला नहीं पढ़ के गए, and you want to attempt that kind of question, right? So at least you can write such kind of specificity or the modification in a specific either the mammals or the aves or the reptiles. Proventriculus and proventriculus muscular नहीं है, proventriculus and muscular gizzard and muscular gizzard. इसके पहले गिजर्ड आपका उसमें था, क्या कहते हैं, एनालिड में, अर्थवर्म में, ठीक है? नेक्स्ट, हार्ट इज कंप्लीटली फोर चेम्बर्ड. हार्ट इज कंप्लीटली फोर चेम्बर्ड. इसी में लिखना है. सो व्हेन वी कवर द अगेन हार्ट डेवलपमेंट टू, सो इसमें राइट शिफ्ट होता है और मैमल्स में लेफ्ट शिफ्ट होता है. ओनली right aortic arc persist in adult. Only remember that this point I'll ask. Right aortic arc persist right aortic arc persist in adults. Persist in adults. Next, Renal portal system, जैसे कि we have talked about that most of the up till the reptiles, that hepatic and renal portal system, जैसे कि liver में और kidney में जो कि आपका different different blood system जाता था वो properly develop होता था. So they do not have that renal portal system because इतना जरूरी ही नहीं है processing करने की, है ना. So renal portal system, इतना इन लोग पानी पीते ही नहीं है कि किडनी का फंक्शन बहुत ज्यादा हो जाए. Why they avoid to have so much water as a drinking? Because of course they do not want to increase their body weight, which is not good for that long flight journeys, है ना, because it will increase the body weight overall. So yes, renal portal system is vestigial, is vestigial. ये भी आप एक फ्लाइट अडेप्टेशन में लिख सकते हो और आप एनाटॉमिकल और जब लोग फिजियोलॉजिकल करेंगे तो फुल स्टॉप इसी में. रेड ब्लड सेल्स आरबीसीज आर न्यूक्लिएटेड. मैमल्स में नॉन न्यूक्लिएटेड होती है, रिमेंबर, इन द अडल्ट. दैट इज व्हाई वी हैव टू मेंशन आरबीसीज आर न्यूक्लिएटेड. आरबीसीज आर न्यूक्लिएटेड. नेक्स्ट क्या बना के पॉइंट इसको लिखना है. बर्ड्स आर फर्स्ट वर्टिब्रेट्स टू हैव वार्म ब्लड. Sorry. Birds are first vertebrates to have warm blood. Warm blood. That means the body temperature is regulated. The body temperature is regulated according to the full stop. No, do not cut. Do not write it according to. But body temperature is regulated, and therefore they are called homeotherms. Homeotherms, warm blooded या फिर पोकिलोथर्म और कोल्ड ब्लडेड आर सेम थिंग. ठीक है, पोकिलोथर्म को हम लोग कोल्ड ब्लडेड भी बोलते हैं और होम्योथर्म को हम लोग वार्म ब्लडेड भी बोलते हैं. देयरफॉर दे आर होम्योथर्म्स और द वार्म ब्लडेड. वार्म ब्लडेड तो हम लोग पहले लिख चुके हैं. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, respiration is by compact spongy. Respiration is by compact spongy non-distensible lungs, continuous with thin-walled air sacs. Continuous with thin-walled air sacs. Next, larynx. larynx मतलब voice box. Larynx, LARYNX, are without vocal cords. Are without vocal cords, but presence of syrinx, SYRINX. larynx होता है LARYNX, बट वोकल कॉर्ड नहीं होते इसमें. ठीक है, बट absence of vocal cord, but they do have syrinx, SYRINX. syrinx होता है which is producing the voice. वॉइस प्रोड्यूस होगी बट स्पेसिफिक उसमें वोकल कॉर्ड में नहीं है. ठीक है, सिरिंक्स को हम लोग साउंड बॉक्स भी बोलते हैं. सिरिंक्स के साथ ब्रैकेट में राइट डाउन साउंड बॉक्स which produces voice and lies. What is this location? Lies at or near the junction of trachea and bronchi. At or near the junction of trachea and bronchi. Next, Kidney is metanephric. Kidney is metanephric and three-lobed and three-lobed. Ureters open into cloaca. इसी में किडनी के साथ किडनी के सारे ऑर्गन्स है ना, so we'll write in the simultaneously. Ureters open into cloaca. Cloaca, we know that that's a common opening, right, for that excretion and reproduction. That is a cloaca. Ureters open into cloaca. Full stop. Urinary bladder is absent. Urinary bladder is absent. Next point. Excretory product is uric acid. Excretory product is uric acid. So they are called uricotelic. So they are called uricotelic. Next. Olfactory organs are poor. Olfactory organs are poor as middle ear contains a single ossicle. As middle ear contains a single ossicle. 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 Next. Olfactory organ लिख रहे हैं तो ear और eye का same में भी लिख सकते हैं. So you can, if you want, you can write in the same point. That eyes are large. Large होती है ना? So आपका जो struthio या ostrich होता है, so what we call them? That eye over the head, right? Because the eyes are that big developed so that the brain is not that developed. The size, of course. तो आपका ये क्वेश्चन है, इंटरव्यू में पूछा गया था, eyes over the head in which organism? They do not even call the birds. They do ask. Of course, we should know that this is a very common question science का. तो eyes over the head is known as उनको बोलते हैं struthio या ostrich को. Eyes are large and possess nictitating membranes. And possess nictitating membranes. Next point. Sexes are separate. Sexes are separate. First stop. Sexual dimorphism often well marked. Please anyone define the sexual dimorphism properly. Suppose that the 10 marker question is only sexual dimorphism. Any one of you? Online? What is sexual dimorphism? Aishali, bacha unmute your mic.
Ma'am, it is when the both sexes are having different morphological features, means they are distinguishable by seeing their morphological features.
Yes, absolutely, correctly. They can be differentiated on just being seen externally or the external morphology. We do not need to think of कि अच्छा उसका internal differences. Yes, good. Manisha, I have typed something. What it is? Sexes can be differentiated by visible. Yes, very good, Manisha. Thank you. Sexes are separate. अच्छा सब में नहीं होती है, but some of them. Sexual dimorphism is often well marked. Next, internal fertilization. Internal fertilization. Full stop. इसी में कंटिन्यू करेंगे. Oviparous. Oviparous. Full stop. इसी में how which type of egg? So oviparous. Full stop. Eggs are large. अच्छा ये मत सोचना कि उसमें तो छोटे होते हैं, स्पैरो का तो छोटा दिखा है. So large का मतलब है कि कंपेयर टू देयर मतलब what we see है ना. सपोज दैट स्पैरो छोटी है तो उसका एग भी छोटा ही होगा, like that. Eggs are large. Sorry. Eggs are large. with much yolk, with much yolk content, या मैं सिर्फ तो with much yolk content and hard calcareous shell, and hard calcareous shell, SHELL, outer covering, shell slash outer covering, full stop इसी में. Direct development, direct development. As we move to the this is something I'm telling you. So as we move from apes to the mammals, है ना? So even in the mammals, as we are going to move, so we do differentiate that prototheria, metatheria, and eutheria on the basis of the different amniotic layers. Okay, that particular point is also in your developmental biology. So next, write it on. Eggs are large with much yolk. Direct development. Next point, लिखो. Extra embryonic membranes. Extra embryonic membranes. कौन कौन सी होती हैं? Anyone? Any remember? Extra embryonic membrane. What are they? Yes, Rajkumar.
Korean.
Yes, yes. Rajkumar, absolutely right. What you are saying, Shali? Repeat it again, bachcha.
Yeah, ma'am, that's what I was saying.
Okay, okay. So for
Korean.
हाँ, exactly, absolutely correct. So first one is amnion, chorion, allantois, and yolk sac. And yolk sac are present. Are present. Last point, because they are the developed one, right? So parental care is well marked. Parental care is well marked. ठीक है, चलो देखो, क्लासिफिकेशन कोई जरूरत नहीं है, पूछा भी नहीं जाता है. ठीक है, so we're not going to even mention the classification. Next, make the heading. That's very 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 important. वहां पे लिख भी लेना, very important. Flight adaptation in birds. Flight adaptation in birds. And after that, give me 1 minute so that I'll upload your photos too. Give me 1 minute, guys. I'm here only. I have to just upload the photo. ओके, चलो. आई नो एवरीवन मस्ट हैव सीन द बर्ड्स. तो पहले आप लोग मुझे बताओगे थोड़े बहुत पॉइंट्स, देन आई विल टेल यू. ऑफ कोर्स आई विल ऐड ऑन समथिंग, बट सपोज दैट इफ यू डू नॉट नो इवन, देन व्हाट यू कैन से. जिसको टाइप करना है आप लोग नॉर्मली बता सकते हो, ऑब्वियसली. जिसको टाइप करना है करे, जो द पर्सन द स्टूडेंट हु वांट टू जस्ट अनम्यूट योर माइक, दे कैन जस्ट डू दैट. चलो, फर्स्ट टेल मी, like what are the flight adaptation, what are the kind of modification have done in the reptiles, so which they are arboreal, so that they could fly, right? So tell me. Huh? फ्लाइट अडेप्टेशन नहीं, suppose that adaptation मतलब what we suppose that I want to live permanently in the water, so I will need certain kind of adaptation ना. My skin will not survive in the water, है ना. अगर किसी स्किन को आप बहुत टाइम तक वाटर में डालो, like suppose that if you are in the water for a really long period of time, so your skin shows different है ना. So बिल्कुल जैसे swells ऐसे बिल्कुल वैसी हो जाती है, it become very thin. Yeah, but उसकी तो नहीं होती, fishes की नहीं होती. So they do have the scales also. Yeah. Yes, Aishali, Manisha, start typing. Aishali, you unmute your mic, बच्चा. Yes, Rajkumar. Modification of forelimbs first. ऐसा देखो ना, image. Think of the image of the bird, and then tell me every single thing. 2 to 3 points I have just mentioned, very critical point. So first is your modification of forelimbs. Yes, Aishali.
First the hollow bones but strong, which makes their
Very,
body.
very good. Yes, very
And
nice. Hollow bone and strong.
apart from that, ma'am, can we say that the uropineal gland that makes their body water, so they won't
Oh,
soak it up and increase their weight?
yes, obviously we can say that uropygial gland, that is also called that preen gland, right? Below the, at the roof of the tail. Manisha, presence of feathers, forelimbs. Yes, presence of feathers. Other than that, presence of feathers. देखो, I have told this many times. अगर कुछ नया आ भी रहा है, suppose that we are giving the IFS or IS paper, ऐसा कोई topic आ गया which we have generally not covered separately, but we do know the basic things. Then at that moment of time, how do you know write a different dimension point? कैसे लिखोगे आप? बहुत बेसिक है. जैसे कि सपोज दैट व्हाट इज द वन थिंग वी आर कंटिन्यूअसली राइटिंग इन द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स. पहले हम क्या लिखते हैं कैरेक्टरिस्टिक में किसी का? वेयर दे डू लिव. तो लिव का हम ऑलरेडी बता चुके हैं, द फ्लाइट अडेप्टेशन. देन हाउ देयर बॉडी लुक्स लाइक, राइट? देन हाउ देयर बॉडी लुक्स लाइक, देन व्हिच काइंड ऑफ स्किन. स्किन के लिए बच्चों ने बता, आप लोगों ने बता दिया फेदर्स एंड विंग्स, ठीक है. देन हाउ डू दे लोकोमोट के लिए आपने बता दिया मॉडिफिकेशन ऑफ फोर, राइट? Then we talk about the digestive glands. Someone has said, I think Ashali has said that hollow bones. Endoskeleton ho gaya. Exoskeleton, Manisha has said that they have. Yes, Manisha, very good. Body is streamlined. That should be the first point. Body is streamlined and compact. Why this a requirement? Because they have to flow. They have to, move into the air, and air is creating the resistance, है ना. So to avoid that resistance, they have this corner tapering, इसको बोलते हैं. जैसे फिशेस में देखो, फिशेस में क्या होता है, नो मैटर व्हाट, मतलब मेजोरिटी ऑफ फिशेस में, ऐसे तो बहुत सारी फिशेस ऐसे बैटल हेड भी फिशेस होती हैं, है ना. तो उनका ये पॉइंट, द अंटीरियर एंड द पोस्टीरियर एंड आर योर पॉइंटेड और टेपरिंग. सपोज दैट अगर मैं इस पेन को, है ना, इफ आई वांट टू हियर फिक्स इट, तो वो इजीली फिक्स हो जाएगा. बट इफ आई वांट टू मे बी फिक्स दिस, सेम वेट का है, डू नॉट डिफरेंशिएट डिफरेंट वेट, बट ये क्या है, ब्रॉडर है. इसको अगर मैं फिक्स करने की कोशिश करूंगी, इफ आई ट्राई टू फिक्स इट, देन मे बी इट विल नॉट फिक्स. दैट इज वन ऑफ द रीजन कि कील जो होते हैं, जो नील्स होती है ना, जो हम लोग वॉल में फिक्स करते हैं कुछ भी, तो उसका जो एंड हम लोग फिक्स करते हैं वो पॉइंटेड होता है ना. सो दैट इट कैन पॉइंटेड थिंग्स कैन अवॉइड द रेजिस्टेंस. कम सरफेस एरिया, P is equal to प्रेशर फोर्स और ए का रिलेशन है ना, जितना कम एरिया उतना ज्यादा प्रेशर. P is equal to F by A. That's the thing. यार इट्स अ बेसिक साइंस बच्चा, ऐसा कुछ डिफरेंशिएट नहीं होता है. फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री बायोलॉजी इसीलिए साथ देते हैं, फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री मैथ भी इसीलिए साथ देते हैं, ठीक है. यस. सो सबसे पहले बॉडी इज स्ट्रीमलाइन, ये भी आपका है, और फिर टेल भी आपकी स्ट्रीमलाइन है, ठीक है. सो बॉडी इज स्ट्रीमलाइन एंड कॉम्पैक्ट. अदर देन दैट एनीथिंग एल्स? अभी आई हैव जस्ट सेड इन द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स सम ऑफ द पॉइंट ऑफ द एंडोस्केलेटन. रिमेंबर फ्लाइट मसल्स, द विंग्स आर नॉट ओनली द थिंग, फ्लाइट मसल्स एडेप्टेशन. सो उसके लिए क्या पाया जा रहा था? कील पाई जा रही थी. कील क्यों पाई जा रही थी? For the attachment of
Larger wing support the larger wingspan.
Yes, larger wing attachment of flight muscles, है ना, into your sternum. Very good. Flight muscles. Other than that, think of, जब हम लोग कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स लिखते हैं, तुम लोग क्या लिखते हैं?
Support the landing, shock absorption while landing.
हाइंड लिम्ब भी हम लोग लिख सकते हैं. हाइंड लिम्ब का पॉइंट भी इज वन ऑफ द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. वेरी गुड. अदर देन दैट, think of, जब हम लोग when we write the characteristics, we talk about the locomotion, digestion, respiration, everything, excretion. The 2 points I've already said that. डाइजेशन में कुछ है इम्पैक्ट? ये एक्सक्रीशन में दे आर यूरिकोटेलिक, दे आर यूरिकोटेलिक, है ना? डाइजेशन में दे हैव डायलेटेड ऑइसोफेगस, बहुत इजीली चला जाए खाना, बहुत जल्दी डाइजेस्ट हो जाए, है ना? और स्टोर रहे वहां पे। सो सच काइंड ऑफ मॉडिफिकेशन। ये तो हमारे जनरल पॉइंट्स हो गए। बट हाउ डू वी राइट गोइंग टू राइट द आंसर फॉर अ वेरी गुड मार्क्स इन योर यूपीएससी एग्जामिनेशन? ऑफ कोर्स ऑप्शनल में आप इसको ऐसे लिखोगे, द फ्लाइट अडेप्टेशन आर मेनली योर टू टाइप्स, एनाटॉमिकल और, ठीक है, फिजियोलॉजिकल और मॉर्फोलॉजिकल। ठीक, चलो एवरीवन राइट द फ्लाइट अडेप्टेशन का इंट्रोडक्शन बाय योरसेल्फ। एक भी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स नहीं लिखने हैं, वी हैव टू जस्ट राइट द इंट्रोडक्शन इनटू 3 to 4 लाइंस। चलो राइट बाय
Ma'am,
योरसेल्फ। यस बच्चा।
ma'am, I wrote one, but it's very small. Can I see it?
I didn't get it. I repeat it again, no?
Ma'am, can I see? I wrote one.
Oh, you have wrote
The,
the introduction already?
no, I wrote it before, like while starting the discussion.
Okay, completely. Yes, you can tell me. I'm hearing.
Birds belong to class Aves of vertebrates and are truly flying organisms with several adaptations which aid their flying abilities.
Yes.
And anything else should I add to this?
Okay, very nice, Aishali. It's very good. But of course, I'm here to reform. It's a little bit short. Try to add 1 or 2 lines. That's it. More. It's a very good context पे problem नहीं है. But add 2 lines. I think it's 2.5 or max to max 3 lines, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am. It's just
हाँ.
3 lines.
Yeah, add one, or when you are making the note, na, add one more line at least. Add one more very relevant line. Manisha and Rajkumar, you also guys write the introduction.
Can I be bilaterally symmetrical?
Yes,
It's a
what you are
general
saying?
point. Ma'am, can I add bilaterally symmetrical? Like
No,
it's not symmetrical.
no. Bilateral symmetrical is founding in that kind of adaptation. No, it's not a specific kind of adaptation. Mammals are also bilateral. If you're writing something specific now, then avoid the general point. You do have the multiple specific points. So no, we are not
Okay.
writing that. Okay. I am giving the point कितना हो रहा है? 16 हो रहा है? 18 पे I'll start writing the adaptation. हो गया एवरीवन? अनीशा, राजकुमार, डन? यस, नो, डोंट नो, समझ नहीं आ रहा, कैन राइट बेटर? आप लोग का मुझे कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ही ध्यान आ रहे हैं, मतलब कोई बात नहीं, नो इश्यूज, कम्प्लीटली फाइन। पता होना चाहिए कि क्या नहीं है। अच्छा, ऑन यू वन मोर थिंग, राइट? ऑफ कोर्स मैं व्हाट कुड आई डू कि मैं हेडिंग डलवाती हूँ, फ्लड एडेप्टेशन, है ना, एंड आई स्टार्ट डिक्टेटिंग बिकॉज देयर इज नथिंग कॉन्सेप्चुअल, मैं लिखाना शुरू कर देती। बट यू नो व्हाट, दिस इज नॉट समथिंग वी डू नॉट नो एनीथिंग, दिस इज समथिंग वी नो एटलीस्ट समथिंग समथिंग समथिंग, राइट? So such kind of concepts which you do know already a little bit when you do your brainstorming, not so called brainstorming, but when you do your use your brain on, है ना? तो आपके पास at that moment of time पे ऐसे तो you know syllabus completion is very easy. मैं आऊंगी क्लास में कॉन्सेप्ट समझाऊंगी और I'll just dictate it and the topic will be finished. But when I allow you guys, आपका एक preparation when you cover ना, actually not only the syllabus, but when you actually start coming for the preparation, that should not be only कि आंसर कैसे रखना है या फिर सिलेबस कब तक कंप्लीट होगा, नथिंग लाइक दैट ओनली। अगर यही करना है तो चैट जीपीटी इज गुड, लाइक स्टिल यूपीएससी की जो फील्ड है, व्हाई इट इज नॉट चैट जीपीटी और द एआई ओरिएंटेड, व्हाई नॉट? बिकॉज बच्चा यूपीएससी इज डज नॉट रिक्वायर ओनली योर स्किल कि आप अच्छा लिख रहे हो, है ना? अच्छा भी आप तभी लिख पाओगे व्हेन यू कैन हैंडल दैट प्रेशर ऑफ योर 3 आवर्स। एक दिन में 6 घंटे लिखने होते हैं मेंस के पेपर में, है ना? और इवन इफ यू टॉक अबाउट द प्रीलिम्स, लाइक इफ यू कैन हैंडल द प्रेशर ऑफ दैट डिफिकल्टी, कितना भी आप प्रिडिक्ट करके चले जाओ, यूपीएससी विल नॉट एवर गिविंग यू द पेपर इट्स वेरी प्रिडिक्टेबल, ऐसा होगा ही नहीं। इट्स गुड कि आपने प्रिपरेशन अच्छी करी है, बट यू विल गेट कंफ्यूज इन मोस्ट ऑफ योर क्वेश्चन, ठीक है? सो चैट जीपीटी कैन नॉट टेल दिस दैट हाउ टू प्रेशर, हाउ टू डू योर, तुम आप चैट जीपीटी से पूछो फ्लड एडेप्टेशन, वो आपको कम से कम 20 फ्लड एडेप्टेशन बता देगा, एंड आप उसको यू नो यू विल राइट, यू स्टार्ट राइटिंग। आज ही नहीं, यूपीएससी की फील्ड या फिर किसी भी प्रॉपर टीचिंग की फील्ड, आई वुड से दैट विल बी, दैट कुड बी, दैट कैन बी, दैट विल बी, वॉट एवर यू वॉन्ट टू लिसन, थिंक, वो एआई से रिप्लेस हो सकती है, बट वो नहीं रिप्लेस हो सकता जो आप अपना ब्रेन यूज करते हैं, ठीक है? सो दैट्स व्हाई वी डिस्कस द कॉन्सेप्ट। तो ठीक है, नहीं हमें पता है व्हाट इज फ्लाइट एडेप्टेशन, बट स्टिल वी आर नॉट एबल टू राइट समटाइम्स बिकॉज हमें वो एग्जैक्टली कंटेंट नहीं पता होता, बट आपने दिमाग लगाया, so whatever the points or the whatever the content came in your mind when I dictate, you'll relate like that, अच्छा इन सारे words को ऐसे करके arrange करना था, so that will make a good introduction, isn't it? है ना? सबको पता है फ्लड एडेप्टेशन क्या है, सबको, everyone knows that, ठीक है? So when we use our brain in the class, हम लोग क्यों देते हैं मॉक टेस्ट? सिर्फ अपनी नॉलेज चेक करने के लिए? नो, at the same time we also see that can we complete the paper in the limited period of time, can we able to solve such kind of question with the limited amount of knowledge, है ना? So this is overall a practice, ठीक है? चलो right on. Birds are, या aves are one of the specific evolution on the basis of their habitat, as for this for this they have they have the adjustment they have the adjustment on the part of they have the adjustment on the part of the animal body, in a particular surroundings to become efficient in locomotion in securing sufficient food, in securing sufficient food, and overall better survival, better survival. इसी में लिखो पॉइंट फुल स्टॉप करके. The birds have taken aerial life. The birds have taken aerial life. Aerial, AERIAL. The birds have taken the aerial life, and all the changes which have taken place, and all the changes which have taken place. अगर बहुत ही specific अगर याद रहे तो ये line लिखना, which we are dictating. The birds have taken aerial life, and all the changes which have taken place, which have taken place in accordance with this mode of life, in accordance with this mode of life, are called are called volant adaptation. वो फर्स्ट वन स्क्वायर में volant adaptation. Sorry, volant adaptations. Next, these modifications led them inverted comma में लिखो, let them, the masters of the air, comma, as described by the scientist named Young, Young, as described by the scientist named Young, Young, in 1958. In 1958. ठीक है. Now make the heading flight adaptation. छोटू सी make the heading fly, या फिर सीधे लिखो flight adaptation, डैश करके लिखो two types, डैश करके लिखो two main types. क्या बोलते हैं इसको? volant adaptation. So now you have, after writing this, how can you write the good introduction? Either you want to talk about, if you want to talk you can talk, अगर याद रहेगा तो बहुत ही अच्छा है, इससे better introduction नहीं हो सकता. So one adaptation, so either you can mention it volant adaptation, or you can mention it master of the air by the Young. Scientist name कभी आप mention करोगे ही करोगे. Scientist name अगर आते हैं please mention. So this is something we are going to talk about in the biostatics and instrumentation, the various scientist names. And one of our student in that last batch, he used to write the introduction with the scientist name, and it was one of the very good introduction, I would say. ठीक है, Young in 1958. तो इनमें से आप तीनों भी मेंशन कर सकते हो, then it will be a very good introduction. तो flight, a type of flight adaptation. Sorry guys for my throat, I cannot help it. Actually I'm taking the medicine, but still it will take time to recover. Type of flight adaptation: anatomical and morphological. Anatomical and morphological. Now make the heading first. Morphological पहले लिख लो क्योंकि form structurally है. Anatomy बाद में लिख लो. So first make the heading morphological adaptation. Morphological adaptation. Morphology मतलब which you can see externally. तो सबसे पहले तो someone has said, I think Manisha has said, that streamed body line, है ना? So first make the heading morphological adaptation. Morphological adaptation, और उसमें भी पहले लिखो body shape, body shape. Okay, देखो body shape में, body shape is the subheading, right? The in the body shape, the streamlined, the streamlined, spindle shaped, streamlined, spindle shaped of body, of body, offers the least resistance, offers the least resistance during during passage through air, during passage through air, during the passage through air. Next, second point, body इसके बाद compact body. Second point, compact body dash, the body is compact, comma light, the body is compact, comma light, comma strong dorsally, strong dorsally, and heavy ventrally, and heavy ventrally, which help in maintaining, which help in maintaining the equilibrium in the air, the equilibrium in the air. नेक्स्ट, इसी में कॉम्पैक्ट बॉडी में ही सेकेंड पॉइंट लिखो. नेक्स्ट, कॉम्पैक्ट बॉडी के अंदर ही है गाइस, द हाई लोकेशन ऑफ हाई ऑर्गन्स लाइक लंग्स एंड एयर सैक्स, द हाई लोकेशन ऑफ light organs, light organs, light like lungs and air sacs, lungs and air sacs, and low position of, and low position of heavy muscles. वही डॉर्सल और वेंट्रल की हम लोग पोजीशन बता रहे हैं. एंड लो पोजीशन ऑफ हेवी मसल्स, लो पोजीशन ऑफ हेवी मसल्स, comma sternum, comma sternum, and digestive organs, and digestive organs, shift the, shift the center of gravity lower, shift the center of gravity lower. Shift the center of gravity lower. This arrangement prevents, this arrangement prevents the turning over, prevents the turning over the body in air. Heavy चीजें नीचे होती है ना, so it will just maintain the gravity or the center of gravity we can say. Prevents the turning over the body in air. इसी में एक पॉइंट और लिखो, मतलब इफ यू वांट, यू गाइस वांट लाइक ऐसा, जब भी और एग्जाम में लिख रहे हो तो जितना हम लोग लिखेंगे ना उसका बहुत वैसे याद रहेगा, तो इसी में कॉम्पैक्ट बॉडी में एक और पॉइंट लिखो. Further, further, the disposition of wings, further, the disposition of wings high upon the thorax, high upon the thorax, sorry, helps in maintaining balance in the air, helps in maintaining the balance in the air. Next point, shape body, compact body के बाद next point, mobile neck, mobile neck. Write it down. The two toothless jaws are produced. The two toothless jaws are produced into beak, into beak, 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 choch, which help in, which helps in preening, feeding, nest building, preening, feeding, nest building, offense and defense, etc. Offense and defense, etc. Full stop. Continue इसी में करेंगे. To perform these efficiently, the neck has elongated and flexible. To perform these efficiently, the neck has been elongated and flexible. Elongated and flexible. Next, bipedal locomotion. Fourth point. Bipedal locomotion. Write it down. To bear the weight of the body. To bear. अच्छा ये जो हम लोग लिख रहे हैं वो मॉर्फोलॉजिकल लिख रहे हैं, राइट? To bear the weight of the body and move on ground, and move on the ground. Hind limbs shifted, hind limbs shifted slightly forward, slightly forward on the thorax, on the thorax, and become stouter, and becomes stouter, stouter, stouter. देखो ये वाला डायग्राम बनाना है अभी आपको, है ना? आई एम जस्ट गोइंग फॉर द ल्यूकवार्म वाटर के लिए, सो आई एम गिविंग द टाइम. देखो ये आपका कुछ नहीं है, ये स्ट्रक्चर है, ये एक्चुअली आपका बोन्स दिखा रहा है, ठीक है? ये आपकी कील वाली स्ट्रक्चर है, ठीक है? और यहाँ पे आपको रिब्स सिखानी है जो कि आपके यूनिसिनेट प्रोसेस में थी, ठीक है? इंटरनल बॉडी आपको अगर बहुत ज्यादा कॉम्प्लिकेटेड लग रही है, डू नॉट ट्राई टू शो दैट, ठीक है? But what are the major adaptation? That is your flight muscles, beak, mobile neck, streamlined body, light insulating feathering covering, bipedal locomotion, short tail, perching toes, है ना? Light but strong pneumatic skeleton framework. Internal body सिर्फ दिखाई गई है. Of course, आप नहीं दिखा सकते internal body का structure that much. Flight adaptation पूछा. देखो whatever even the point has been mentioned here, that are majorly your morphological. ठीक है? यही एक डायग्राम बनाना, तब तक आप डायग्राम बनाओ, बहुत बड़ा नहीं बनाना, बस आई एम जस्ट कमिंग इन मिनट, ठीक है? Everyone please make this diagram. कितना टाइम हो रहा है? 37 हो रहा है, 40 तक 3 मिनट में बन जाना चाहिए डायग्राम. Whenever writing answers, please make the diagram if it is possible. ऑनलाइन डन. इतना टाइम थोड़ी लगना था. डन. ओके. राजकुमार, वैशाली, आप दोनों बच्चों. राजकुमार, आप घर गए हो? ओके फाइन, नो इश्यूज. गुड. चलो फिफ्थ पॉइंट. फिफ्थ पॉइंट, फ्लाइट ऑर्गन्स. फिफ्थ पॉइंट, फ्लाइट ऑर्गन्स. Flight organs. Write it down. Four limbs are modified into wings. Four limbs इसमें लिखना है ऐसे. Four limbs जो हम लोग अभी आंसर डिस्कस कर रहा था वो ग्रेजुएशन लेवल की था. ये यूपीएससी का आंसर है. ठीक है. Four limbs are modified into wings, which are which are sole organs of flight. Which are sole organs of flight. Next, इसी में फ्लाइट में इसी में सेकंड पॉइंट. The surface area of the wings are increased by the surface area of the wings are increased by the development of elongated remiges. Remiges. Remiges slash flight feather. remiges को नॉर्मल सेंस में फ्लाइट फेदर भी बोलते हैं. फ्लाइट फेदर. नेक्स्ट 6 पॉइंट लिखो. फेदर्स. 6 पॉइंट नाउ. फेदर्स. Feathers. The body is fully covered with a closely fitted. The body is fully covered and closely fitted with feathers which are backwardly directed. In contour manner. Contour. In contour manner. These make the body streamlined. More streamlined actually. These make the body more streamlined. सोचो अगर बर्ड के ऊपर से फेदर हटा दें, है ना, तो कुछ खास डिफरेंस नहीं रह जाएगा कि वो जो बीच में ब्रॉड है और जो अपर और सॉरी एंटीरियर और पोस्टीरियर में जो वो नैरो है. सो दैट विल एक्चुअली बिकॉज ऑफ कि वो बीच में ब्रॉड है बिकॉज ऑफ द वेरी डेंस फेदर्स. राइट. इसीलिए लिखो द ब्लैंकेट फेदर्स में. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, द ब्लैंकेट फॉर्म्ड बाय द feathers holds a certain amount of air between the body and feather covering. Which insulates the body perfectly and prevent loss of heat this hold it air, इसी point में, हाँ, this hold it air add much to its buoyancy. This hold it air much to its buoyancy. We have already talked about the buoyancy, Buoyancy, buoyancy. Next, feathers of wings, या सिंपल लिखो feathers from, next point, feathers में कंटिन्यूसली करेंगे, या वैसे तो आपकी सिलेबस में नहीं है, बट फेदर का सिग्निफिकेंस पूछा है अलग से, सो दैट्स व्हाई वी आर राइटिंग द मल्टीपल पॉइंट्स. Feathers form a broad surface. Feathers form a broad surface for striking the air. For striking the air. Last point. Ab in the feather, yes. Now this is the last. Feather holds a feather covering. Feather covering. Yeah, next one. Feather covering makes the body lightweighted. Makes the body lightweight. Makes the body lightweight. And also protects it from hazards of environmental temperature. From hazards of environmental temperature. Next, feathers के बाद integuments. 6 के बाद 7 point. Integuments. अगर आपको इसमें 6 पॉइंट भी याद रहे, अच्छा ऐसा नहीं है गाइस कि एवरी सिंगल पॉइंट यू हैव टू राइट द 4 to 5 points. आप 4 to 5 पॉइंट्स लिख के आओगे, आपकी तसल्ली है, इट्स योर थिंग. But if another copy will have the 7 to 8 points minimum, so of course examiner will give the more marks to him, or maybe not more marks, good marks to him or average marks to you. So better है, ये बहुत easy questions है. ऐसे questions में there's a very good chances, a very high tendency to gain more marks. तो इसमें अच्छा आंसर लिख के आना है, कुछ एक्स्ट्रा नहीं रखना होता है. Integuments, the loose attachment of skin over the body. The loose attachment of skin over the body is also a modification for flight. It's also a modification for flight. Yeah, this is a morphological. Because skin की we are talking about, no? Loose attachment तो आपका feathers का भी आ रहा है. Yes, overall integuments मतलब we have already talked about the skin derivatives and integuments. That is the topic. No, we are not talking about that anatomically. No. This is a morphological. Yeah. Yes, skin derivatives ना. ऐसा तो feather भी आपका skin derivative है. Okay. Modification of flight, full stop, which provides extensive movement of skeletal musculature. Which provide extensive movement of the skeletal musculature. Number 8, short tail. Short tail. क्या सिग्निफिकेंस हो सकता है शॉर्ट टेल का? सबसे पहले तो टेल इज योर बैलेंसिंग ऑर्गन, सेंटर ऑफ ग्रेविटी को मैनेज करती है. ठीक, छोटू सी आगे हेड और छोटू सी पीछे टेल. ओवरऑल इट इज मेंटेनिंग द सेंटर ऑफ ग्रेविटी. ठीक है, शॉर्ट टेल. राइट डाउन. Rectrices or the caudal feather. Rectrices or the caudal feathers. Caudal feathers are arranged in a fan-like fashion. Are arranged in a fan-like fan-like fashion as a series on short muscular tail. Short muscular tail. These assist in steering steers. These assist in steering to check sudden flight, comma, steering to check sudden flight, and as a counterbalance, and as a counterbalance, full stop. It also maintains the overall balance of the body. It also helps in maintaining overall balance of the body. Last point लिखो, perching. Last point, perching. Perching. Write it down. क्या होता है perching? This is your perching. The phenomenon of holding something. Something is fallen down. Suppose that beak में कुछ है ना, hold क्या claws में कुछ है, so that is called claws के through perching. Next note. The phenomenon of holding of objects automatically. मैं इसको छोड़ूं like this. Automatically, it's a sudden that thing. The phenomenon of holding object automatically at sitting by birds. At sitting, बैठे समय भी. At sitting, जैसे कि चिड़िया कैसे बैठती हैं? Very rare कि चिड़िया ground पे बैठती है. अच्छा, why the birds cannot sit on the ground? We seen very rarely. Why? Online? Yeah, guys. Any one of you? Why the birds do not sit very frequently on the ground, but on the trees they can? Accordingly, this is a modification of perching. Yes. Aishali, राजकुमार, मनीषा, टेल मी, क्या जरूरत है हमेशा बर्ड ट्री पे बैठने की? जमीन पे भी तो बैठ सकती हैं. हाँ. वैशाली, टेल मी अच्छा. अरे यार, ऑब्वियस है ना, छोटू सी बर्ड्स है, अब बड़ी सी भी बर्ड्स है. नहीं बैठना था तभी तो अडेप्टेशन हुए. प्रे प्रेडेटर रिलेशन बाबा, खा जाएंगे इसको. इसीलिए दे हैव द मॉडिफिकेशन कि इवन इफ द नॉर्मल सिटिंग दे कैन होल्ड द. इस राजकुमार राइटिंग समथिंग. राजकुमार, आर यू राइटिंग समथिंग? Write down. Holding the twig automatically at setting by birds with the help of hind limbs, with the help of hind limbs is called perching. It's called perching. Perching. Full stop. Full stop. For this, the muscles of hind limbs, the muscles of hind limbs are developed in such fashion, that when a bird sits on a branch of the tree, that when a bird sits on the branch of the tree, the toes, T-O-E-S, the toes closes around, close actually, not closes, singular, plural, toes closes around the twig automatically, because the twig puts, the flexure tendons. देखो, I am telling it here. I will try to ask this question. Flexure tendons मतलब जब छोटी सी न्यू बर्ड सपोज दैट ऑरिजिन हुई, बट लाइक when the bird छोटू सी न्यू एग हैच हुआ, से न्यू बर्ड आई, ठीक है, फ्लाइट ये वो दुनिया भरी, मतलब देयर सो मेनी so many activities which are learned through the parents, but so many actors which are common to that reflex. तो उनको this is your reflex action का example, sorry not reflex action का, this is that example of that animal behavior में ethology में हम लोग पढ़ते हैं behavior, the types of behavior. एक होता है आपका लर्निंग बिहेवियर विच लर्न थ्रू द डिफरेंट पैटर्न ऑफ थ्रू आउट द लाइफ, एक होता है आपका ऑटोमेटिक और विच कम थ्रू द इनहेरिटेड वे. सो फ्लेक्सर टेंडेंस आपका इनहेरिटेड वे ऑफ लर्निंग है. यस यू नीड टू लर्न बट दैट कम्स इनहेरिट. चिड़िया की बेबी को पता होगा, द किटन नॉट किटन, the babies of the sparrow will get to know that because of the flexor tendon they will going to hold the twig automatically. That is called one of the concept of the behavior. ठीक है, फ्लेक्सर टेंडन on the stretch, on the stretch, stretch, stretch with the exertion of the pull, with the exertion of the pull, comma, and the toes are bent spontaneously, and the toes are bent spontaneously. इसका एक सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है कि बर्ड्स जो होती हैं वो आपकी ट्रीज पे बैठे बैठे सो जाती है बिकॉज दे हैव दिस रिफ्लेक्स में. ठीक है, फर्स्ट टॉप इसी में लिखो. अ बर्ड कैन गो टू स्लीप ऑन अ पर्च, a bird can go to sleep on a perch without any fear of falling. Without any fear of falling. Done? हो गया? These are your morphological adaptations. ठीक है? Next make the heading anatomical adaptations. Anatomical adaptations. सबसे पहले क्या लिखेंगे? Flight muscles. Anatomy. Flight muscles. कौन सी मसल्स आएंगी उसमें? मेजर फ्लाइट मसल्स आर, वी हैव जस्ट नेम इट इन द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स. पेक्टोरल ना, ये पेल्विक थी, कौन सी थी? द हिंड लिम्ब वाली और द फोर लिम्ब वाली?
Ma'am, the forelimbs.
What was the name of that?
Ma'am, it was the pectoral muscles and along with
Yes.
that the kings.
Yes, very good, very nice. Pectoral muscles, right, and flight muscles. Flight muscles. The actions of the wings, the actions of the wings is controlled by the flight muscles, is controlled by the flight muscles, which are greatly developed, which are greatly developed, wing about, wing around, wing around 1/6, wing around 1/6 of entire bird, of entire birds, comma, while the muscles of, while the muscles of the back greatly reduced, greatly reduced. बताओ टेल की मसल स्ट्रांग होती होगी? नहीं, ऑब्वियसली नॉट. greatly reduced. The muscle fibers comprising, the muscle fibers comprising the flight muscles are of striated type. So when we cover the muscles type in the body, so we talk about the three types of muscle: striated, non-striated, है ना? तो नॉन स्टीरिएटेड और स्मूथ ये वाली मसल दैट मींस विलिंग पे डिपेंड करती है, नहीं करती है, वो वाला टाइप है ना. राइट डाउन. comprising the flight muscles are of striated type, and well vascularized, मतलब blood network supply is very good, एनर्जी कहाँ से मिलेगी? ब्लड के थ्रू तो मिलेगी, ब्लड ही तो, योर ब्लड इज द ब्लड इज ओनली कैरिंग द एनर्जी पार्टिकल, राइट? दैट इज व्हाई इट इज हाईली vascularized and well vascularized to withstand fatigueless, थकना नहीं है, इतनी लॉन्ग जर्नी कंप्लीट करनी है ना, नेविगेशन और माइग्रेशन आपका बर्ड्स में भी है, फटीग लेस आफ्टर प्रोलॉन्ग्ड एक्टिविटी, after prolonged activity. Well developed, next point इसी में लिखना, muscles में लिखना, well developed flight muscles are well developed flight muscles included pectoralis major, pectoralis major, अच्छा लिखना भी तो है इसके बारे में, pectoralis minor, pectoralis major, pectoralis minor. अब एनाटॉमी है तो एनाटॉमी में कुछ तो स्पेसिफिक लिखना पड़ेगा ना, मेजर के सामने लिखो causing downward stroke, pectoralis major के सामने लिखो, just add the word causing downward stroke, pectoralis minor के सामने लिखो effective upstroke, effective upstroke. Third coracobrachialis and coracohumerus. ह्यूमरस और ब्राchialis, ह्यूमरस भी आपकी मसल्स ही तो होती है फोलिम की, ह्यूमरस, then this is a radioulna, right? So first is this, second is this, third is coracobrachialis and coracohumerus. फोर्थ आपकी है टेंसर मसल्स, टेंसर मसल्स, कोराको ब्राchialis और उसमें अगर स्पेस है तो लिखना दैट रोटेशनल मूवमेंट, हेल्प इन रोटेशनल मूवमेंट, नहीं है तो चलेगा बट अगर है तो प्लीज राइट डाउन, हेल्प इन रोटेशनल मूवमेंट. टेंसर मसल्स में लिखो keeping the prepatagium stretched, keeping the prepatagium stretched. फ्लाइट मसल्स के बाद नेक्स्ट एंडोस्केलेटन. एंडोस्केलेटन में तो यू गाइस मस्ट हैविंग मल्टीपल पॉइंट्स. एंडोस्केलेटन, राइट डाउन. In order to achieve ligament, in order to achieve lightness, acha, there was once a question about the anatomical adaptation in the flights, in the anatomical flight adaptation. अगर ऐसा कुछ अच्छा, why this is a question? Because there are multiple adaptation, multiple points हैं, तभी आपसे वो question पूछा जा रहा है. अगर content is not good enough तो वो नहीं पूछते आपसे, है ना? So anatomical adaptation में भी multiple points, ठीक है? In order to achieve lightness without losing strength, the bone has become pneumatic, 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 containing air spaces in place of bone marrow, next point. Skull bones are paper like thin, next point. Endoskeleton में ही next point है. The skull bones are paper like thin and show a tendency towards a reduction and show, हमने लिखा था ना smooth and monocondylic, remember? So very simple type. And show a tendency towards the reduction in their number as as these bones are firmly fused with each other. As these bones are firmly fused with each other. इसी में लिखो स्कल का, बिकॉज ये कंसिस्ट स्कल में कंप्लीटली. टीथ, जॉस लॉस्ट द टीथ, जॉस जॉ बोन ऐसे भी लिख सकते, जॉस JAWS, इसी में करना है स्कल वाले में. लॉस्ट द टीथ, लॉस्ट या लूज द टीथ टू मेक द स्कल लाइटर, टू मेक द स्कल लाइटर. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, द फर्स्ट 4 और 5, इसी में एंडोस्केलेटन का ही नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. द फर्स्ट 4 और 5 थोरैसिक वर्टिब्रा, जैसे ह्यूमंस में डिवीजन होता है लंबर, वैसे ही वाला. The first 4 or 5 thoracic vertebra are fused to form a firm fulcrum. देखो ऐसा होता है. You are sorry. कहाँ गया डायग्राम? डायग्राम कहाँ चला गया? So what here we are actually talking about? ये जो है ना फर्स्ट 3 to 4, ये जो आपकी thoracic vertebra होती है, they are become fused. जब फ्यूज हो जाती है to forming first fulcrum, ठीक है? Fused to form but first firm fulcrum. Fulcrum अच्छा क्या होता है? Fulcrum is a bone through which the flight muscles attach, to which against which the wings can work. ठीक है? इन सारी ये जो फर्स्ट 4 to 5 अगर जब भी वो फ्यूज हो जाती है वर्टिब्रा, उनको ही हम लोग बोलते हैं फर्म होती है, मतलब सॉलिड. फल्क्रम अगेंस्ट विच विंग्स कैन वर्क, अगेंस्ट विच, जब ये अच्छा सोचो, अगर ये इन इटसेल्फ विल बी मूविंग, तो विंग्स कैन नॉट मूव इन अ स्पेसिफिक डायरेक्शन. आधा विंग्स इधर मूव कर रहा है, आधा विंग्स इधर मूव कर रहा है, so that will create the different pressure, so that particular will not have the good flight, है ना, बहुत एनर्जी लगेगी. fulcrum against which wings can work. Next, endoskeleton के points में. Next, the fusion of about 14 vertebra of the vertebral column. Next point, the fusion is of about 14 vertebra of the vertebral column results in the formation of, अब सब फ्यूज होंगे तो क्या बनेगा? प्लेट लाइक स्ट्रक्चर. results in the formation of a plate like structure called, इसको ही बोलते हैं सिंसैक्रम. जैसे कि हम लोग में कॉका एक सैक्रम बोन होती है ना, स्ट्रक्चर कॉल्ड सिंसैक्रम. सिन मतलब साइमल्टेनियसली, सिंसैक्रम, which acts as a girdle to support the entire weight of the body, to support the entire weight of the body. Next, the shortening of caudal vertebra. Next point, endoskeleton में. And formation of piezostyle, ये हमने फीचर्स में लिखा था. The shortening of caudal vertebra and formation of piezostyle has assisted stability in the air, in the air. Next. Next. Sternum or breastbone. Sternum, sternum. Sternum or breastbone. Sternum or breastbone is expanded, having a median ridge, और कील हमने बताया था KEEL sternum में कील for attachment of major flight muscles, in flying birds. इसको भी अंडरलाइन करो, कील को अंडरलाइन करना, in flying birds, comma, while it is without a keel. sternum में अगर कील प्रेजेंट है, how do we get to know कि ये bird dodo जो थी, dodo is your fossil, right? So how did we get to know कि dodo was a flying bird or the flightless bird? So dodo do not have the keel. ठीक है, so that is the thing. उसके जब भी वो फॉसिल मिला होगा. While it is without a keel in the running birds, like ostrich, full stop. Rest we do in the next class. ठीक है, rest we'll talk about next flight adaptation में. We'll continue. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone. Hello. Yes, yes, Ashali.
I just had a doubt. One term, that non-distensible lung. What is the meaning of that? Spongy non-distensible lung.
I didn't get indistinct. Just repeat your words, Bachar.
Compact, spongy, non-distensible lung.
Compact, spongy, and
non-distensible.
Would you please write it? I'm not able to understand. Please write it. Distensible. Okay. Distensible. Indistensible or distensible.
Yes, ma'am. I might have pronounced it wrong. Sorry.
Okay. So that means, acha. So when they want to when they have the flight adaptation, right? So that means they need to have more amount of air in the body. So that is why we have air को hold करना जरूरत है इनके. Otherwise अगर बाहर बहुत तेज, suppose that they are flight, right? They are moving for the migration. Suppose that अगर बाहर बहुत तेज हवा चल रही है and they have nothing in their body, तभी तो उनकी क्या कहते हैं the endoskeleton, the bones are also moving, the bones are also airy, है ना? feather और body के बीच में जो space है that is also airy, है ना? suppose that अगर ये balloon है, balloon के अंदर air है, but अगर balloon के बाहर बहुत ज्यादा air होगी तो ये balloon survive नहीं कर पाएगा. ठीक है, so air को hold करने के लिए actually we do have this kind of lungs. बहुत ज्यादा इसमें जो alveoli होते हैं, इसका मतलब ये है बच्चा, जो alveoli होते हैं they have the very good capacity. जैसे कि हम लोग suppose that एक certain moment of height पे जाते हैं, certain place height पे जाते हैं, so we cannot survive because हमारी lungs की capacity उतनी भी ज्यादा नहीं है. But we can, according to defense personnel can survive because they have that kind of या फिर जो लोग बहुत ज्यादा exercises और बहुत physical capacity वैसे में होते हैं, they can survive. But suppose that जो old age है, why they cannot survive? क्योंकि उनकी जो alveoli होती है या overall जो lungs muscle होती है, वो उतनी expand नहीं कर पाती. तो ये चीज इनमें नहीं होती. ये तो कितने फ्लाइट पे फ्लो करते हैं, कितने हाइट पे फ्लाइट करते हैं. So they have the very well developed this kind of lungs. That is the meaning of that. Spongy. Okay. Thank you, bachcho. Happy Holi, everyone. And yes, Rajkumar, please say. You want to say something? Okay, no issues. Happy Holi and enjoy the festival. And obviously we'll meet after the festival. ठीक है? ऐसा फेस्टिवल में कंजूसी नहीं करनी है, बिल्कुल एंजॉय करना है. So when you enjoy it. Okay? When you study, work hard, party harder. चलो, thank you. Bye bye everyone.